Healing should not feel like a second full-time job, but really for so many of us, it does. And I know for me, this used to be true. It can really feel very overwhelming and sometimes even impossible. There are so many opinions out there about the right way to heal. On the one side, you've got the wellness gurus telling you to get up at 4 a.m., drink green juices, meditate, do all the breath work, and just eat, pray, love your way to inner peace. And then on the other side, the medical industry insists that you need strict diets, years of talk therapy, and medication to fix yourself. So which one is actually the right way? Many of my clients have struggled with the concept that they need to do it all and do it all with perfection. They feel the pressure to find the best and most perfect routine and stick to it without fail. But let me tell you something. This is actually the mindset that may be keeping you stuck. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple and easy ways to make healing feel a little bit easier and lighter without the overwhelm, pressure, and confusion that can quite often come with complex routines and programs. If you've been feeling stuck or frustrated in what may feel like an endless healing journey, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Deb Sarah, and I'm here to help you simplify your healing journey so that you can feel more aligned, connect to yourself, and find that inner strength without the stress, overwhelm, and confusion. I've spent the last 10 years navigating trauma and my own healing journey, getting bits and pieces from both the science and the spiritual practices to bring you a mixture of what works best so that you can create a happy and authentic life that works for you. And let me tell you, I have been there, stuck, confused, and wondering how to get to this supposed place of healing, thinking, why is this not working for me? That's why I'm here to help you cut through the noise. The biggest healing myth is thinking that there's only one right way to do it. Healing often feels heavy and hard because we're trying to fit ourselves into methods and molds that just don't align with us and where we're at along our journey. We're told that if something doesn't work, whether it be meditation, therapy, or journaling, then we must be the problem. But what if it's not actually you? What if it's that the approach isn't right for you? So let me give you an example. I used to believe that if I could just find the right book, the right guru, I could unlock these magical secrets to healing. You know the feeling? You see the next best-selling book from someone you really love, a guru out there. And so you get so excited to go and get this book. You think, this is it. This is going to change everything for me. Can't tell you how many times I've done that and been there. I'd get the book and I'd dive into it. I'd be highlighting and sticky noting every single book like it looked like a massive textbook. I would be so inspired and motivated for the next few days or weeks, but it always felt like something was missing. Eventually, I'd always come back to this feeling in my stomach like it wasn't enough or that there was just something missing that I couldn't get out of a book or even a talk therapy session. So I'd think maybe I need to reread it, maybe I missed something, maybe I just need another book. I don't know if you can relate. And before I knew it, I was stuck in the next cycle of searching for the next perfect book or guru or someone to help me fix myself. The truth is, no single book, course, guru, or method is going to be able to fix you because you're not broken. Healing isn't about finding one thing to magically fix you or make your problems go away. It's about finding the different methods and approaches that work for you and feel aligned so that you can take things at your own pace. For example, when I was looking at all these books and gurus, there's so much beautiful information in there and it's great, but a lot of the tips and tricks weren't meeting me where I was at or helping me find specifically what I needed. And so I was following everyone else's idea of healing, health, and what worked for them. But I wasn't understanding that I needed to pause and take a second to reflect on what I actually needed, rather than what everybody else, what the industry, what the gurus all thought I needed. Here are 3 reasons why healing may feel overwhelming for you. We think healing should be linear. Expect our health, healing, and growth to follow a really strict and rigid plan. Do X and get Y. Healing isn't a step-by-step process, and I've learnt this the hard way. It's more like going up, down, backwards, forwards, and all around. You're going to revisit the same wounds and the same lessons at different stages at your journey. It's like an onion, as Shrek says. We're peeling off the layers of the onion, and each time we do, we explore that wound or that emotion from a different stage or level. So when it feels like we're stepping backwards, this may not actually be the case. Because healing isn't linear, stepping back may not actually be that. It may be stepping sideways and just learning a new truth, a new way of seeing things, or something else about yourself that you missed prior. Because until we learn the emotional reason or wounding behind the lesson that's there and grow through it, that lesson is going to keep coming back to us in different stages and different ways. And it's not a failure on your part. That is how healing works. But we've been sold this lie that healing should be, I'm going to give you a diet, you're going to lose weight. That kind of mentality of you do this, you get that. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And so continuing with the mindset and belief that healing should be linear and it should just be an XYZ program is going to set you up for feeling like you're a failure or that you're doing something wrong, when in reality you're not. And when we can see our healing from a perspective of, I'm just peeling off the onion layer and I'm gaining new wisdom, it sets up a new way of seeing it's empowering rather than disempowering, because it really is a lifelong journey of growth. Number 2 of why healing may be feeling hard for you is that we try to do it all at once. I put my hand up here. That was me. I wanted everything done quick, fix, in that linear way. And so I was trying to do everything at once because there's so much pressure, especially with social media these days, to meditate, get up early, journal, do the therapy, and do everything because it appears like everybody else has it all together and is able to maintain and do all of those steps themselves, because that's what social media quite often shows us. It doesn't always show us the reality. As I said, when I first started my healing journey, I was doing it all. The yoga, the breath work, the meditation, the green juices. I don't know if you remember wheatgrass shots. I was drinking those while they tasted like dirt. I pretended I loved them because it was good for me. And so I tried to follow this perfect routine that did not suit my lifestyle, that I didn't even like, and it burned me out. Healing should not be feeling like a chore. Imagine for a second, and I've done this, trying to clean your whole house in one single day. You get overwhelmed, you get exhausted, and if you're anything like me, you end up with more mess than before because you've pulled everything out of the cupboards, you've got your piles ready to put back in, but by the time you're ready to put back in, you're too tired and worn out to get to that stage. And so you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to put everything back in the cupboards tomorrow. But because of the stress of doing it all in one day prior, weeks, months, or however long passes by, and those piles of mess are still there. Well, it's the same with healing. When you try to do it all at once, it can feel extremely overwhelming, and it can bring on feelings like, I'm not good enough. Maybe you might feel anxious or more heavy and depressed. And so a different approach, which is more manageable and more sustainable, is cleaning that one room at a time or one shelf at a time. And this will allow you to keep a more upbeat and energetic mindset while you're doing the growth work instead of the heaviness that makes you not want to do it. Because I don't know about you, but I've learnt my lesson, and I much prefer to have the energy, the bubbliness, and positive approach to healing than the weighing down of it all because I do too much and get overwhelmed. And that isn't to say that healing is always going to be happy and positive, because that's unrealistic. It's more about working to your strength and giving yourself permission to enjoy life while you're growing and while you're perfectly imperfect. Number 3, as to why healing may be feeling heavy or hard to you. We do not celebrate our progress enough. Healing can feel like a never-ending journey where the finish line keeps moving further and further and further and further along as you go. And we can get stuck focusing on how far we have to go rather than really acknowledging and experiencing how proud we are of how far we've come and where we are right now, in celebrating the progress that we've made and who we're becoming. I used to measure my healing based on external validation. I used to think I'll be healed when I've lost X amount of kilos, or when I don't get triggered, or when I have the big house. And this isn't a fault of yours. We're actually wired to look at the negative for survival. So our brains are wired to look at the finish line of how far we've got to go because it's a protective mechanism to keep us safe. So we actually need to train ourselves to look at the positives, to look at what we can celebrate rather than focusing on what is wrong with us. And I can tell you, I have noticed myself doing this lately. Even when you've done a lot of work on yourself and you're in a good place, We are wired for survival, and it's about catching yourself. So recently I was focusing on, I don't have this, I haven't done this, and I'm not good enough. And I caught myself and I went, just because you're not where you are in life doesn't mean you haven't come very far. And I sat down and I reflected. I did a little list of everything that I achieved last year. Even though I didn't achieve the big goal, I achieved so much internal growth. And I think we can really focus so much on what's the external. So the fact that I didn't earn X amount of money, or I didn't get the house, or I didn't get the relationship. And because the internal growth isn't tangible, we forget to actually look at how far we've come. For example, maybe you aren't getting triggered as much by the things that used to, the relationships. Maybe you're not fighting with people as much. Maybe you have more self-worth. These are the things that are going to fulfill you and your life and your cup up much more than any house will, as long as you've got the basics, the safety of survival. And so how could you focus on celebrating your wins, that maybe you are placing boundaries out there and not allowing people to disrespect you anymore? That's a huge win. So where in your life are you respecting your own boundaries and yourself, or maybe you weren't? Just a couple of things that you can think about. Healing does not have to feel like an uphill battle. It's often made out to look like this heavy, hard thing. It's about finding what works for you. What makes you feel safe, supported, and connected. And this is really important, because a big part of healing, and especially from trauma, is reconnecting back to self and others. And a way to do that is to explore what you desire, what you need, and what might work for you, instead of forcing yourself to be someone else or do something that is popular but really does not align or work for you. So what does healing look like for you? Is it movement meditation? Is it an art class? Is it pole dancing? Is it an acting class? Healing doesn't have to be sitting with someone in a room and talking, sitting down and meditating. It is a way to reconnect yourself and express yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. Because no one can tell you what healing looks like for you. Only you really know what you need. You focus on what feels aligned for you. Small, consistent step, and let go of perfectionism. You'll realize that healing isn't something to achieve. It's something you live. Start where you are, use what you have, and take it one step at a time. What's one small step you can take to simplify your healing journey this week? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, be sure to download my free meditation to help you reconnect to yourself, get aligned, and be authentically you.